I'm a middle blocker. I went to the University of Michigan. I played there from 2015 to 2019. And then I went and I played a small season in Peru, came back, started coaching because ixnay on the professional life. It was just not for me. And then this opportunity popped up and I jumped on it, got into it, and it absolutely just sparked that flame up again for me to play. So now I'm going to go pursue my professional career again. I'm going to go play overseas after this season. And when I get back to my hometown, Michigan, I'm from Lansing, Michigan, but my home now is kind of in the Detroit, Ann Arbor area. And when I get back, I'm going to continue coaching and then jump into some training and stuff like that. I can text Deja too, Sam, and just.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to let her know. And then when she's on, she can do her little intro. We can get started. And we're all excited. I'm excited. I'm always excited to talk to Cori.
Oh, you're so sweet. It's nice to see you. I like your Adidas.
Thank you. I know. I got my red. Got to stand out.
Reminds me of Wisconsin a little bit, but that's okay.
Oh. I think we have people here from Wisconsin, right? Are you guys Wisconsin fans?
Really?
Katina and
yeah, I'm from Wisconsin.
Are you a fan of like
Badgers.
University?
Kind of, not really though.
You're like, I'm not gonna admit it now.
No, you can be, I promise. One of my favorite people to play with ever is Tiffany Clark. I don't know if you know who that, the libero for Wisconsin. So she's playing here too. Oh, there's Deja. But she's awesome. And I actually really like Wisconsin. So it's not that big of a deal.
Hi, Deja.
Hi, everyone.
And Deja, I know I've emailed with you. My name's Sam, and it's nice to meet your face. Cori gave a little bit of an intro of like her background, personal background. If you want to kind of introduce yourself before we get started.
Sure. I'm Deja McLendon. I am a player from Louisville, Kentucky. I played for Kiva, the club Kiva there, and then I went on to play at Penn State. And then after graduating Penn State, I played in Azerbaijan, Poland, Italy, and in Brazil. And now I'm here in Dallas and I'm super excited. I'm a left side attacker. And yeah, that's pretty much me.
So cool. Well, I just want to say thank you from everybody because I'm sure I'll say it at some point, but just thank you for joining us. And since we have a nice small group, it's really fun because, everyone can ask like 2 or 3 questions each when sometimes you only get to ask one. So this will be really fun. I'm going to go kind of around the circle 3 times and I'll just call on the girls one at a time and they'll ask their question. And if you guys just both want to give your perspectives and your answers, then that would be great. Okay. So we will start with Alexis, and Alexis, or everyone, if you could say the first time around, if you could just say where you're from too and what Starlings club you play for, that would be great.
Hi, I'm Alexis. I play for the Brevard County Starlings. I'm from Rockledge, Florida. I kind of play all around, but mainly a middle blocker. And my first question was, how has like COVID-19 impacted how volleyball has like changed for you?
I can take that first. So COVID-19 definitely just like turned my world upside down, not just volleyball. So volleyball kind of ended my season early in Brazil. I came home and I was supposed to move to Poland to be with my fiance. Couldn't do that. So I was stuck at home in Louisville for 8 months and trying to stay in shape, trying to, do something in my house. All the gyms were closed, couldn't play volleyball at all. I tried to start playing some sand volleyball, and I just learned a lot about myself because, it's not easy to just get up every day and say, okay, no one's here pushing me, but I got to do this. So I found a way to kind of stay in shape. And then now that we are playing, I'm really thankful for Athletes Unlimited. Now that we are playing, but we're playing without fans, it's like, man, I loved that energy. I loved having people around. I loved playing for like the adrenaline and that idea of like the game day. And so game day is completely different now.
Yeah, for sure. And if I was an athlete, I think it would have been different. But at that point in my life, I'd no longer been an athlete and I was just kind of finding my way through the professional career. But when I came back to volleyball and it was still impacting us here, one of the main things is you don't realize how much your facial expressions when you play volleyball matter. And like being able to see each other's faces, it is so wild when we're practicing with each other like this, the majority of our time here. And then all of a sudden, one by one, you get to see everybody's real face. And it feels like you get to know them on a personal level. In like some way, you get to know them in a different, like intimate way that you didn't get to know them before. And it just helps you move forward as a teammate and helps you compete better, helps you communicate easier. You know exactly what's going on. But you know, the mask too, like if you're trying to talk at the net, it's kind of good because no one can hear, see what's going on. You can just be talking like this and it doesn't matter. So it's been fun to play with, but at the end of the day, I'm so grateful that the masks are about to be gone because I think it's just going to elevate our play. I know tonight is our first match and we get to go into it with no masks on.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
That's super
so
exciting.
I think it's going to be totally different. I think it's going to
Yeah.
it's going to be loud. It's going to be super emotional and expressive. And I'm excited to be able to share that intimacy with each other. Like it's kind of, you know, just having that safety net. It's just going to be nice. It's going to be
really
nice
cool
to have masks on.
I'm pretty sure I can
everybody
hear
can
you
feel that
on the
if they're playing.
broadcast, Cori, when I'm listening. I'm pretty sure I can still hear you cheering with your mask on. So I'm excited to hear how loud you really are.
I'm not
Okay, well,
surprised by that.
that's a great question. And now let's, Andrea, go ahead.
Okay. My first question was, I'm Andrea and I'm a libero and I'm from Rockledge, Florida, and I played for the Brevard County Starlings. But my first question was, what were the biggest struggles you had growing up as a volleyball player and how did you overcome them?
You got it. I got it. I can go, I guess.
Yeah, Cori.
I think when I first started playing volleyball, it was the culture shock that really rocked my world because I'm sure you guys probably heard me say this 100 times, but I was a basketball player first. I played basketball until I was about 16 years old, 17. When I was a junior in high school, I kind of got into volleyball. And number one, the amount of money that it took to even participate in volleyball, first of all, was just a rock to my family. And it was a rock to me as an athlete because it made me feel guilty that I wanted to go participate in a sport. Like I really loved playing volleyball. I loved playing basketball, and just having that taken away from me is something I had to think about now was really, it just made me super uncomfortable with playing the sport. And then the other thing was just like the amount of innate privilege that you had to have to even be a part of the sport of volleyball. Like that's not where my family came from. That's not where I came from. And then getting into that environment and being around people that were all wearing Lulus, that had no problem paying for the latest Uggs. And like when that was in style, I don't even know. But just, you know, there were things about the people that I was participating in my favorite, you know, sports with, that they were a lot different than me. And their households, what they were having for dinner was a lot different than me. And that kind of adjustment was really difficult for me at first because I didn't even know how to make friends. I didn't even know, like you telling me we don't go to the Golden Corral for team dinners. Like we have to go to the Melting Pot where it's like a 3-course meal, and I didn't know how to act. So that was a learning adjustment for me. But I think the biggest takeaway that I got from that is that regardless of what everyone comes from or what it doesn't, we just got to be able to respect everyone's differences and then be able to move forward. And it doesn't matter if we don't come from the same things or we don't understand the same, you know, what it means to be a part of it. That's okay. We just got to be able to respect each other's differences and move forward. And once I was able to kind of let that go, it made my volleyball experience a lot better too. I think that's where I would go with mine.
Very cool. What about you, Deja?
I definitely think I had a problem with my confidence and my self-confidence when I was growing up. I was pretty shy and like didn't like to talk in big groups, and I kind of just like listened and followed. And anytime I had to lead, I would be like the silent leader with my actions. And that took me a long time to figure out how to be vocal and how to be like, you know what? No, I can do this. And like I'm that girl. Like that's me. It took a long time to get there. And I think that had a lot to do with the fact that on a lot of my teams, I was the only Black girl for so long. Like, and still even in a lot of college situations and a lot of pro situations, it was like 1 or 2. And just looking different and being different, it feels like I want to fit in and I don't want to say anything or do anything unless I'm like absolutely the best. And then if I'm the best, then I can talk. But that's not how it works. Everybody, you're part of a team, right? And everybody has a role to play and everybody has a voice. Uh-oh, am I still going? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
you're going.
Everybody has a voice, and it's really important to just own that and like know you, even if you're different or whatever is different about you. Own that and be confident in that and know who you are. And that way you can stand up and say, okay, this is what I bring to the table.
Good. That's a great question. That sparked some awesome advice. Thank you guys. Okay, I think, am I at Brianna now? Yes, Brianna. Go ahead and tell them where you're from.
Hi, my name is Brianna. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I play for the Charlotte Starlings. And my question is, what's your technique for memorizing and teaching yourself new plays before an upcoming game?
Cori, you want to go? No.
I can start.
No, we can take turns. Deja's got the first now. And
Okay,
then
got
I'll
it,
just
got
take
it.
turns. So
Good,
Deja
good.
got it.
Good tactics. Good.
So learning new plays comes in practice for me. We don't have so many new plays anymore, but we have to remember a lot about other players. So like scouting reports, like remembering what this girl is going to do. And so anytime I have to memorize something, I literally on the sidelines, like I look at that player and I say what they're going to do out loud to myself. I'm like, okay, on her, she runs cross. So we're blocking cross. On her, she'll run the slide and I'm blocking line. Like I literally say that as their lineup is going out onto the court. And I still do that today. When I'm learning a new play or I'm learning a new technique or something, I do that 1,000 times in practice. And that way I know in my head, I can do it 1,000 times on the court. Like, so it just comes with that confidence of knowing I can do it.
I'm piggybacking off what she was talking about. I completely agree. Like if it was something that I was learning how to do for the first time, one of the worst things my mom ever told me, but you've heard it 1,000 times, like there really is no easy way out. And you got to go, you know how to handle it. Like if I'm learning something new, I need to be reminding myself of how to do it the right way over and over and over again, and always starting small. Because I want to hear all the information, like how am I going to make this happen for myself? And I want to do it all at the same time. And that's just not how this functions. That's not how this works. So just making sure that I'm going step by step. I like to go from my feet to my head if it's a skill, like making sure I'm always taking care of my feet first, and then I work my way up my body, because I feel like that's how my chain works. And that's kind of how fundamentals work in general. If it's about somebody I have to scout or somebody I have to take, new information and be going into the next match with, I totally agree with Deja. Like, especially here at AU, a lot of these people are our friends, but when they become an opponent, I completely changed my mentality. Like when I'm looking at Katie Carter, I'm like, okay, when she's off the net, she likes to go this and this, and I know who they are based on those things. And I just put them into these categories because it makes it easier. Because if I'm trying to see them for all that they are, then I just can't see their tendencies. And then when they get into hitting lines, that's another one that I love to use. Like when they're going into their approach and they're attacking, I'm watching the way that they're going. I'm trying to read based on what I've already been watching, all the time that I put in, and then see, oh yeah, that's when she does this, and just reiterating the same things that I already put time into when I was scouting, when I was watching film. And I know you guys don't have that kind of opportunity, but watching film over and over again is always like my go-to.
Cool. Well, I mean, you brought up hitting lines though, because that happens in club and stuff. They could have an opponent they've never seen before, but that's your opportunity to learn. So that's a great spot to do it. Cool. Okay, Carly, your turn.
Hi, I'm Carly Deem. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I play for the Cedar Rapids Starlings. My question is, what got you into volleyball?
I forgot it was my turn. So I got into volleyball because when I was a sophomore going into my junior year, we were playing in the tournament for basketball, all these great things, but I had patella tendonitis, and they told me if I took another step, my patellas were going to snap and I had to take 2 months off. And so I was not doing anything. I was waiting around for my AAU basketball season to start up, and I was just wandering around my facility in high school. And I ended up stumbling upon a small time club team practice up in our old gym. I was like, what is this? And then jumped into it. And I think the reason why I fell in love with the sport so quickly was because it is so fast and you make so many errors. The entire game is a game of mistakes, and every single time that you're trying to play volleyball, you're gonna mess up. And in basketball, I wanted to make 100% of the shots I took. And so when I got into volleyball, that just wasn't even an option. Like there was nothing you could do to swing 1,000. You had to learn how to get over that last play and move on to the next. And not only do you mess up once, like you get back in transition, you're messing up again. You got to go, go, go. Like in basketball, you miss your shot, you got a long run back. Think about it like, oh God, that was, but volleyball, like you don't have time. And I think that that's where I just fell in love with it so much, so quickly, because it was just such a fast game that kept my attention.
Actually, yeah, mine was by mistake too. So I was at a new school and I had my best friend and she was gonna try out for volleyball and she was really nervous and she's like, Deja, come try out for volleyball with me. And me not knowing any of the rules, I was like, okay, sure. And so I show up at volleyball practice. I'm terrible, like the worst player in the gym. I tried to attack a serve. I did not know what no movements. I was just this gangly body with arms. And but I loved the team. So I've been playing tennis for all my years. That was what I did. And so I was used to having,
I'm learning.
Yeah. And I still play. So I was playing tennis and that's a very individual sport where I don't have girls around me to cheer for me. And I don't have teammates to work on this with or to pepper with. And so I felt like, oh my gosh, this is what I love. I love competing with other people like me. And I like having a common goal. And I like having a team. So that was what drew me in. And it's always been about the team for me. It's always been about the girls. So that's why I've stuck with it. And eventually I ended up dropping tennis and I'm saying volleyball, it's my thing.
Cool. Yeah, both of you multi-sport. I like it. And Yuseli, since you are now stopped in your car and not driving, I will take this opportunity to ask you if you want to ask your question. And are you gonna be driving again? Do you want to unmute yourself? No. Okay. All right. So why don't you ask your question, just because I've been all nervous that you were gonna crash this whole time. I'm just happy that you're safe.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Hi, I'm Yuseli. I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm on the Madison Starlings team. And I guess my question for you is, how do you keep that strong mentality when you're having your rough days and or during tournaments? How do you just keep that super strong mentality and not get down on yourself?
Yuseli, that's an awesome question. And that's something that we all struggle with from the bottom to the pro, all the way. Some things that I found for me, first off, you have to know you're strong. You have to believe that you're strong, that you can get through anything. That's the first thing. And second thing is you have to know that you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. So you prepare. It's the same way. You have tools that you use when you're having a bad day. So for me, I'm a passer, right? And it's really easy passing is really mental. If you get aced, it's really easy to get aced again. So I actually talked with a sports psychiatrist when I was at Penn State. We were really lucky, and he gave me this tool. So whenever I go into the practice gym, wherever I am, I find something that's always in the gym, and no matter where I go. And for me, that was an exit sign. There's always an exit sign or a door or whatever. And so I would go to that place and I would find my exit sign, and that would be my reset button. And so when I would practice. And when I messed up or when I got that negative feeling, I'd go to my reset button. I'd press it and I'd be like, all right, back to zero. And then I'd refocus and then I'd be back in the game. And so I was practicing that every day, wherever I went. And so in the game, when I shanked a ball, I could be like, all right, let's go back, reset. Here I am, fresh slate. And so that was a tool that I practiced and I could take with me and I could still use no matter what. So that, and definitely relying on my teammates, because we're not super, super strong all the time, but we have a team and that's what they're for. I can rely on my girls and be like, hey, I'm just not feeling it today. Scrambled eggs in there. Can you cover me here? Can you back me up? Or can you be my confidence today?
That's awesome. You're so good at bringing all of it together. I feel like mine's just going to be so I know
They
you guys
balance
can
each
hear
other.
it.
No.
I know everybody's figuring it out. So first thing when it comes to mental stuff too, because I think that me and Deja could probably talk forever on this because it's not something that goes away. I just want that to be point blank. Like you are going to struggle with your mental toughness for the entirety of your athletic career. It just is part of it. Everybody that's playing in AU right now has these conversations with themselves every single time that we go in to compete. And I'm sorry to give you the bad news. It doesn't get perfect ever. These things don't go away, but you get better over time. Number one thing when I was in high school that really I struggled with as an athlete was anytime I made a mistake, I was worried about what everybody else thought about me. Every single time that I made an error, anytime that I messed up, and it wasn't just the people that were in the crowd, it would be my teammates. I felt like I was letting them down. Like anytime that I made it, just, you know what, team, you'd probably be better off if you just yanked me and put me on the bench because I'm just out of here. Like mentally, I'm going to be gone. And I would just work myself into these ruts and it would be really bad. So first of all, identifying, put yourself in their shoes, your teammates' shoes. Imagine, what do you think that your teammate's thinking about? Your teammate's thinking about her own game. Your teammate's worried about what her shoes look like. Your teammate's worried about how her spandex fit her butt. Your teammate's worried about her dad in the crowd. Like you got to laugh at that because everybody thinks that you are the main character in your own world and everyone's watching you, but that's not reality. You have to worry about yourself because everybody else is doing exactly the same thing, stressing out about what everybody else thinks about them, but really nobody's thinking about you but you. You just got to be able to take that breath and center yourself and then go back to your craft. And then the other thing is anytime that we work ourselves up to believe that a match is something different than practice, we're already setting ourselves up for failure because what you do every single day in the gym at practice is good enough. We think that when we walk into a big stage, we walk into an interview, we go into a match, we have to be perfect. We're worried about a performance. We got to be this entity. We got to do everything right. We got to go just absolutely kill it. But in reality, all we have to do is bring ourselves, be ourselves, be our, whatever we were at practice, that's good enough. And last thing, I would love to find it. I don't even know where it's at. Some TED Talk video my dad showed me one time. Whatever, this man is always in my head. He laughs at us for worrying about performance-based things, whether or not we can't control the outcome. You can give your absolute best effort on a pass, on a serve, you can give it all the focus in the world, but at the end of the day, you can't actually control the result. The result's gonna handle itself. So what this man would talk about, he's got an Indian accent, he can't say his W's, but anytime that something would happen, it's, you know, so I don't even know, you shank a ball, right? Or you dime a pass, wonderful. You shank a pass, still wonderful. Like, you can't worry about that. And every single time that something goes on in my brain, I hear this man saying, still wonderful. Can't control the result, it's still wonderful. And just being able to let reset button, it's the same thing, like letting that go, learning from the mistake, and still wonderful. And just move on to the next play. So
Still
those
wonderful.
are my bullet points.
That's
I
great.
love
That's
that
gonna
so
stick in
much.
my head.
I wish I could find it. He's just this man, he's like, great, still good, and then still wonderful. Just
Still wonderful. That's great.
I have to find it.
Yeah, you will. I really want to see it now. Okay, Katina. Sorry, I skipped over you. I was happy that you silly had parked.
It's okay. My name is Katina. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, and I play for Madison Starlings. I'm a outside hitter. My question for you guys is, being the people that you are today and playing at a high level volleyball, what or who motivated you to be the people you are today?
This might sound crazy, but it was myself. Like, not in a bad way, not in a bad way, not in a bad way. I don't want to make this sound crazy. Just my biggest motivator comes from me being able to beat myself every day and just see what I'm capable of becoming. Like understanding that my ceiling is only as high as I set it and not letting myself get in my own way and allowing myself to grow every single day and just to surprise me. Like, I don't think that I don't think that any of us give ourselves the credit that we deserve when we imagine what we're capable of becoming. And I like proving myself wrong because I think it's easy to get in your own head, get in your way of, oh, I'm not capable of this, I can't do this. And just allowing your own successes to be your own motivator. Like if you look back at all the things you didn't know you were going to be able to do, how cool is it that you were able to do those things? And just, you surprise yourself every time that you put yourself out there and are vulnerable. So if that, I don't know, that's probably a sneaky question. I feel like that sounds crazy, but my answer is myself because I feel like you can elevate yourself by a lot, just getting out of your own way.
I love that first off. I don't think that I had that sense of self when I was younger. And it's so weird, but my younger sister was my motivator. And because we started volleyball at the same time, because we both kind of found out about it, at school and whatever. And she always worked so much harder than me. And, I was there to have fun, and I like to be with my friends, but Maya was like, I want to be the best volleyball player. I want to be the best person on the court. I want to be the hardest worker. And so she was always that go-getter. And I was like, dang, I got to be better. I got to be better. And so literally I was always, and she's smaller than me. So it was really, she had to work that hard to play, to make that next level. And it came naturally to me. And so I had to force myself. I was like, I'm going to work just as hard as Maya. I'm going to work harder than Maya. And I was always chasing her. And still to this day, I swear, like my, one of my coaches from college always used to say, like when we were on the court and I wasn't doing well, he's like, Maya would have done better. Oh, Maya would have hit that shot. Oh, Maya would have done this. And it's just, it eats at you and you're just like, okay, I got to work harder. I got to be in the gym. I got to get this down. So yeah, my younger sister, yeah, she motivates me still to this day.
That's cool. Did she play and did she end up playing like in college or anything?
Yeah, she actually did. She went to U of L and then she finished her season or her 4 years at Arizona State.
Cool. Good little sub question there. Okay. And Jimena, go ahead. I think you're still there. Yes, you are. There you are. In the dark.
Here. If I go look at them, because I don't want to like mess up the questions because I feel like I had some good questions. So like if I go, will it like kick me out again?
No, that's okay. Go look and then come back. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't think it'll kick you out of the meeting. It'll just kick your face out for a second.
You guys, it's so cool to actually see your faces.
Okay.
By the way.
Sorry.
I totally.
I know, Cori was
guys.
saying,
So nice.
Yeah, Cori was saying that you guys had done something similar to this, but that you couldn't see anybody talking. So I'm glad that I like seeing everyone too.
Yeah, so much easier.
Okay, so my question is, what motivated you guys like after every downfall that you guys have had during like your whole career? Like what motivated you to keep going like after like every like downfall?
Yeah. So you have a lot of downfalls in sports, especially when you keep playing. You get hurt. Sometimes you get fired. Sometimes, you just don't make a team. Like there's so many times that you fail. And that's where I think that Cori's talk about that inner self that's driving you, that's always driven me. So I got hurt in like 5 years ago. I hurt my knee bad. I had surgery and I was at home and I didn't have anybody. It was just me and trying to rehab myself. And I saw all these other girls had the same injury come back stronger. And I just wasn't coming back. And I had to sit down and say, who am I? Am I gonna do this? Can I do this? And it was that moment where I was like, can I do this? I was like, of course I can do this. I had to have that strong inner self and say, I'm not a quitter. I know when I will be done on my own terms. And so I pushed myself to get back, and it was over several years. I didn't come back right away, and it was painful and it was hard and I cried a lot. But at the end of the day, I was like, I know that I can do this, and I'm going to push myself to do this. And eventually I got there, and I'm so proud of myself. And yeah, I think that's something that you can find within. You have to find that driving voice.
I just made everybody full screen for the first time. Hi, everybody.
Oh, good.
I don't know what was going on before. So interestingly, in the same conversation, when I'm struggling, when something's going wrong, or I've had a lot of crazy experiences, and most of the time I was the first one to be dealing with something that was, that I would be going through, whatever. And I never really knew what the outcome was going to be. Whenever I would fall or whenever I would struggle, I had a hard time relying on other people. And a lot of the times I would just look blankly into the future, like, what's going to happen? Am I capable of getting through this? And most of the time, 100% of the time in my memory, I had no idea whether or not I was going to make it out or not, or whether or not the outcome was going to be what I wanted. But the only thing I knew that I could control was giving my best to try to get to wherever I wanted to go. And one of the quotes that's always stuck with me is, you've survived 100% of the worst days you've ever experienced. You've survived 100% of those days. And there's not much in this life that you can say you've done 100% of the time, but being able to look back at other things that I was able to conquer, go through, again, not knowing whether or not I was going to make it out or not knowing whether or not you're going to be able to get back and healthy like everybody, or you haven't seen anybody else get through these injuries that you've dealt with, or whatever it is, mental stuff, like just trusting that if you give your best effort, if you go out there and you fail while daring greatly, whatever it is, then the outcome will take care of itself. And that's where, when I'm struggling, I try to just let go of whatever I want to control, let go of that outcome, and just give my best and see what happens. I hope that makes sense.
I want to add one thing, because I think this is what has helped me when I was doing those. That process is hard, but there's some things that have helped me, and that's continue to smile through it, because that brings that little thing, it sparks like an energy. And so the people around you start to smile, and then you start to connect, and then you have help to do it. And you will find so much that just comes from being a little bit more positive about something. And so smiling is like one of the easiest things that you can do.
It is. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown, apparently. Fun fact. It's easier. So Ariel, thank you. I'm glad you were able to jump on. Do you have a question ready, or do you want to take a minute to think about it while I ask somebody else? You have to unmute yourself. Sorry, you're muted. Let me know if you need help unmuting. Okay, she will come back. If you can hear me, Ariel, I can't hear you. I will hear Ariel, hold your question, and I will listen for you and look for you, and I will ask for you next as well. So I'm kind of like looking at the other questions that people had mentioned that they might ask. And Ariel, are you ready? Okay, try to unmute yourself. Just like tap, if you're on your phone, tap your screen, it should be at the bottom. Okay, and she'll keep trying. We'll get it eventually. And Ariel, if you want to send your question in the chat, we can see your face and see your question too. So that would work too. Okay, I'll look in the chat. And then next, so Ariel, we'll do your question next, but first, Katina, can you ask your second question that you had listed? I thought it was a really good one. Do you have it there?
I think it's the obstacles one.
No, it was the person one, but did you already ask that one?
I don't think so. I'll ask that one.
Okay.
How do you guys overcome obstacles during the game, whether that's bringing up your team's energy or like getting over a play, like a play that you might have made a mistake on, or any of that sort?
Yeah, building up your teammates is hard. That's a really good question.
Me. So one thing for me personally is if you guys have watched any of the matches, I'm sure you've heard me. I'm naturally a very loud human, and me competing at my highest, my best, and when I'm giving my best effort, there's a lot of verbiage that's coming out of my mouth. I'm just constantly talking, whatever energy. And when I'm struggling, that's the first thing to go, because that's when if I'm going to give my absolute best, then I feel like you got to take care of yourself before you go take care of others. Just like on the flight, you got to make sure you put your mask on before you put on somebody else's. So when I'm doing well, it's really easy for me to give back to people around me. And when I'm not doing well, it's really difficult for me to feel like I can still commit to giving everybody around me the energy that I usually do while I'm worrying about myself and like trying to take care of what's going on in my head. So, and also my energy, when it's getting pulled down, it affects everybody around me too, because they're used to that energy. They're used to me being like this. And I used to get really upset at my teammates for depending on me for this energy. I'm like, why does my energy affect the way that you feel? You should be responsible for how you feel and how you're competing. Why is that my responsibility? But I've learned that you always have to be giving your absolute best, even when you are struggling. Like, even when your performance isn't the way that it's supposed to go, even when obstacles are being put in front of your face, like the other team is just housing you every single ball. Or anytime that you go to try to serve aggressive, they're just coming back at you in crazy transition plays, just going hard, or whatever it is. Like, those obstacles should never change the way that you are competing. That every single mistakes are gonna happen. The like ups and downs of the game, like that's gonna happen. And you can't control that. The only thing you can control is your energy staying consistent, your effort staying consistent. I feel like the best word that I could tattoo on my body, just as a reminder for volleyball, is consistency. Not worrying about doing the absolute best or doing the worst all the time, but just good enough. Just stay consistent. Stay consistent with your teammates. We don't gotta be the last people on the team. We don't have to be, but we just gotta stay consistent. And every time that an obstacle is faced in volleyball, it's easy to feel like you gotta do something crazy, but just staying consistent.
That's so good. And like, I love playing with people like Cori, because it means I don't have to do all of the energy work, because that is work right there. I think you have to look at everybody like a battery, right? So like, if you are not bringing positive energy, then you're sucking energy, and we're all connected. So if you got 5 people screaming their heads off, but one person's still sucking the energy out, you're going to have a hard time. There's going to be a hole. And so my job always is like, make sure one, we're all connected, and at the same time, like keeping that energy, like Cori said, consistent, right? So if it dips, I bring a little bit more. If it's a little high, because people can get crazy, like it can be too much, I calm it down. So I'm like that regulator that finds the gaps and makes sure that everybody's still coming together. And if you ever watch me play, you will see that I will physically grab people and hold them into the huddle. And sometimes I'll hold them a little longer, because if people aren't looking me in the eye, then they're not connected. They're not here with me. And so I try to continue to do that, keep us connected and keep us consistent.
And I think something I want to highlight on that too is that me and Deja are very different, and that's totally okay. I think a key to a team's success is identifying what you bring and how you compete, how you play the sport, and then allowing that to be your superpower, and not feeling like you got to do things that aren't what you do. You just bring you, and then figure out what everybody else's superpowers are too. So you can utilize everybody else's, like Deja's ability to be able to bring people in and keep them down. Like that couldn't be my job. It would take way too much effort for me to be that person, but for me to be the energizer, that's really easy for me. And playing into everybody's strengths, I feel like is really important.
Agreed. Okay, Ariel, I'm sorry, I muted you because I heard coaches in the background, but can you unmute yourself this time? And if you can't, I hear you. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, sorry. All right, so my question was, when talking to coaches, like what should they know about you, and how would you go about the first conversation, like looking for colleges and stuff?
That's a really good question. And I've been out of the college game for a little bit, so Cori will probably have better, more pertinent information. My biggest thing was coaches are trying to get to know you, not only as a volleyball player, but also as a human, as a person, and as a student. So like, yes, they need to know your volleyball stuff, like how high you touch and what position you play, but also what do you care about? What's your passion? What do you love to learn? What do you love to study? Information about your family, like that's like all really important stuff to make sure that when you're on the phone and you're talking to your coach, you know, you talk a little bit about what you care about. And the same, ask them questions, because they're going to be a huge part of your life, and you want to make sure that your values connect with theirs. And they really appreciate any time that you kind of step up as the adult and really take into your hands the process. So anytime you can ask questions, or you can be upfront with them and tell them, hey, I really care about this. Is this something that you value? They're going to be like, oh, this girl knows what she wants, you know? That would be kind of what I would say.
Deja pointed out some really good things, so I hope you guys will listen to that. So good job, Deja. You have not been out of the game that long. I don't know why you're talking like that. You're not that old. Stop.
I graduated in 2013.
That was not that long ago. We don't.
Yeah, I graduated in 2010, so I win. I'm older.
Everybody. Would you like specify real quick if it's in an email situation or if it's like on a phone call talking to somebody?
Tell Deja we love her.
Oh, Oh,
Hi, Coach Fred. That's Coach Fred.
Love you guys too.
oh my God, I just wore my heart.
I love you, Deja.
Oh.
I've been following her for years.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
That is
yes, ma'am,
awesome.
I have. I pay attention. They had a great article about you maybe 2 months ago. Incredible article about you. Love you to death.
Thank you
Ladies,
so much.
talk to you
Appreciate
later. Bye.
Hi, Fred.
Appreciate you. Bye.
Okay, my question was basically like in email form, like how would you talk to the
Okay.
coaches?
So recruiting's a big thing for me. And I think me and Sam talked about this before. If you guys have more questions that we can't get to, like feel free to DM me. I'm sure Deja will be on the same. Yeah, just Instagram, whatever. You guys are more than welcome to reach out to us and we can get back and talk about whatever. So email stuff, like if you're, like she talked about, if you're a big time physical at, you know, and your numbers, like your physical, like if that is impressive, then that's something that you should be highlighting. And then something just for female athletes in general, like she was kind of talking about, just the overall, you have to be a well-rounded individual to get a college scholarship, unlike some of our male counterparts who can just be good athletes and they don't have to worry about all these other things. So highlighting those other things are really important. And in some of those ways, like she talked about, it's academics, including a GPA, including some extracurricular activities. If you were able to, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just whatever you can add. I was on the school board for the prom, or like anything that just makes it sound like you were doing something more than just doing school. And then also, like she was talking about with your family, some of your interests outside of volleyball. So you got to show that you're not just an athlete, whether that's what degree you want to go into, what you're interested in, especially if it pertains to what that college is good at, you know, like if, oh, I'm looking to be a science, you know, and you guys have a great whatever, like do those kinds of things. And then also, like she talked about, just opening it up for questions too. Like if it's a one-on-one email, then asking a question or something, or asking, and always sending your club's schedule, wherever you're playing, whenever you're playing, just throw it in there, throw in a highlight reel. Do not feel like you are imposing yourself, or I shouldn't say too much. Like, sell yourself. That first email is all about getting that sinker out. Just go crazy. Like, don't worry about what it looks like or what, just try to do everything you can to put as much personality, as much variety into that first email as you can. I think that would be big. And again, send DMs for more stuff like that.
Yeah, so I just sent both of your IG usernames to everyone in the chat. So if you guys do want to do that, they're there. But you can always email me if you can't find anything. Just ask me and I will push it along. And I would just like to say, I thought that since we had a smaller group, we'd be able to ask like a bunch of questions each, but I love so much that you guys gave such like deeply personal and like well-rounded answers, and it felt really comprehensive. I don't even know what questions there are that like haven't been answered. So that was really great. I would love to ask, just because relevant to today, because you guys are playing against each other in a few hours. What do you guys think would be valuable for these girls to watch while they watch you guys play today? Like, what do you think is a good thing for them to pay attention to as they watch the Athletes Unlimited Pro games, whether it's your game or the other game or any other game?
I would say watch how people bounce back. So watch the best players, right? They make mistakes. Watch how they come back the next time. Watch how fast they learn and adjust. Because I think this game, especially the way we play it at Athletes Unlimited, is about adjustment. Who can make the fastest adjustments to the team that they got drafted to the way that the scouting report is working, to the situation on the court, like with the ice storm, like who can adjust the fastest? So yeah, that.
I think it depends on what you're looking for. Like if we're talking about the physical or the emotional side of volleyball, number one, if it's in your position, trying to watch their form or their footwork or their technique, it's really easy to just watch the ball and kind of get distracted by what's going on in the play and the rally. But if you're really focused on one or two players and how they do what they do, like you see something cool, you know, a great dig or an amazing swing, instead of being in awe of it, like genuinely watch the way that they approach. Where are they? How many steps are they taking? When do they wait? How early do they leave? You know, all these things. Try to identify those things and get tendencies is a big thing for me because I'm a visual learner. I learn from watching everybody else do things well. And then as far as like what she's talking about, like the team dynamics, I would 100% watch like what she was talking about, how they bounce back, right? Like we're all going to get punched in the mouth. It's about how you respond, right? And a lot of the games, like somebody gets smacked, something happens and the momentum gets shifted, and it's about how you respond and watching how the team responds in the same way that we were talking about. Everybody's got different roles. Like somebody might just bring the energy. Tiffany Clark's a big person that she starts screaming, and then Jordan Larson, the next play that she takes, she might just hit a shot that we need, or the next time she comes back to serve, she'll make sure that she's going aggressive. Just trying to identify the different momentum changes and how the teams responds, I think is also interesting.
That will be really cool. What are your team names this week?
We're 24 Karat Magic because everybody stole all the gold names. So we got 24 Karat Magic, and then I don't know, you guys are the Diamonds.
Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
Blue Diamond.
Watch their celebrations because I saw some. Yes.
I'm low key. I'm like, Cori is she's huge. I know she's trying to block me. She might get me once or twice, but I'm gonna bounce back. I'm ready for you.
Let me say this, Deja has been a line attacker the majority of this time. Like the majority, you guys know what I'm talking about. She likes to go, she will turn her shoulders, she'll make you look like she's going down the cross, and then she cross bodies and she bangs it down the line, or she'll go in between the seam. But as of late, she started to create this little cut shot, and now she can hit it on the little 10-foot line tee all of a sudden. So me as a blocker, I've already played against her with this new shot. So me as a blocker blocking her is really difficult because she'll just abuse my right side blocker, or she'll just go around me. So my job against her now is going to be to try to drop my hand and see if I can get a block or two on her. It's going to be a challenge, but that's my goal coming into it. Girl, it's going to be hard because she just go, it doesn't matter how hard I reach.
I'm going to be counting. I'm going to be tallying the times that Deja gets around your hand.
Oh, God, it's going to be so many. Deja, don't blow me up.
When
Really.
she gets it though, it's very fast how fast it comes back. I'm just saying that.
I'm sure we'll see it. Oh, that's so fun. You guys, this has been really great. And I'm super excited that hopefully all of you girls can watch the game live tonight. I think that would be really cool. Like text your teammates and stuff, watch it together. But if you can't, you can watch the replays of the game after as well. So the link that I send you to watch it live, it's live and it's fun because it's happening right then. But if you can't watch it then, you can still go back and watch it later if you have to miss it for any reason. So 2 games are today on YouTube and all other streaming platforms as well, basically. And then the other games this weekend are on Fox and CBS. So if you guys have access to like TV, basically, you can watch them there. But all of the other games that they've played this season on YouTube and social media and stuff are available to watch on replay. So hopefully you guys get a chance to do that because they've been really great. So if you haven't seen them, I would go watch them. But they have to run because they've got to go get ready for their game. So yeah, Cori, Deja, any last things you guys want to say?
I'm just so happy that I was able to connect with you guys a second time, and I'm hoping we can continue to do these in the future because you guys are awesome. And like the biggest thing to me is growing you guys. This is for you. We're creating this right now so you guys have a pro league to play in. And I cannot wait to watch you and to hopefully coach you and get more in depth. So thank you so much for showing up and for helping us start this whole thing.
Same. I'm so thankful that we were able to see everybody's faces and say hi and get to know you guys on a personal level. And I think one of my biggest goals as an athlete is to make sure that you guys recognize that we are people. We were you, and you guys are all capable of doing exactly what we're doing and following in our footsteps and making it better. And just last thing, don't ever take yourselves too seriously. If you take yourself too serious, then you're getting in your own way. You're putting rules in front of your own life. Life is supposed to be playful. Like when we're playing in these matches, it looks serious. We're not taking ourselves too seriously, or else you get locked up in all the mistakes. Just life is supposed to be playful. We're being playful. I hope they zoom in on our faces with the masks off so you guys can see. Like,
we're gonna see you guys smile.
It's playful. Don't take yourself too seriously. That's my final remark. Anytime that you feel like it's all just life's supposed to be playful. Make sure you're having fun.
Awesome. Well, again, I sent in the chat, I sent you guys links and usernames for both of them for Instagram, but I'll also send you all an email right now in case the chat disappears, which it will in a little bit. So if you didn't get a chance to copy it, I will send it all to you. Okay. So
Hopefully you guys can
all
watch.
unmute
Thank you so
yourselves and say
much. It was
bye.
so nice to do this. Thank you, Deja, for jumping on. Thank you, Sam, for
Yes,
making this
thank you.
happen.
Yeah. See you
Thank
guys later.
you guys. Awesome. Okay,
Bye.
everyone
Thank you
wave.
guys.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you,
thank you.
Katina. All right, bye everyone. I'm gonna end it. All right, bye.